People cling desperately to trees. A Scholar transport bus is swept off a bridge as South Africa's powerful cold front hits the country. Time to root out the government ghost workers racking in millions for years at our expense. And in Austria, a lone gunman shoots and kills children and teachers at a school. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
A powerful cold front has brought snow, freezing temperatures and dangerous conditions to South Africa. In the Eastern Cape, a 22-seater Scholar transport bus has been swept away after a bridge collapsed during heavy floods. Preliminary information suggests the bus was heading to Jumba Senior Secondary School when it was swept away by rising floodwaters at the Efata Bridge. By the time rescue teams arrived, the bridge had collapsed and the bus was nowhere to be found.
At this stage, the exact number of learners on board cannot be confirmed.
Heavy snowfall has forced the closure of the N10 between Cookhouse and Craddock and the N2 outside East London. The province has been hit with an orange level 9 warning for disruptive rain. Many homes are submerged and people have been seen clinging to trees to avoid the rising waters.
Disruptive rain is expected to result in a widespread flooding of roads and settlements, a danger to life due to fast-flowing streams or deep waters. Widespread transport routes and travel services are expected to be severely affected. Widespread, prolonged disruptions to essential services like water, electricity, communities, and schools.
5 people have been killed in a car crash on the N2 close to Qinsa this morning. The driver of the minibus taxi swerved to avoid a fallen tree blocking the highway and lost control of the vehicle. In KwaZulu-Natal, the N2 highway has also been closed in the southern parts of the province due to severe snowfall. Heavy rains in other parts of the province have caused trees to be uprooted and have disrupted traffic on major routes like the busy N3 highway.
Swift action by disaster management teams has ensured that these disruptions are minimized. Additionally, municipal teams are working in affected communities to clear roads blocked by fallen trees. These teams are working around the clock to ensure that power is restored where areas have got power outages because of damage caused by these trees.
Western Cape is in the grip of icy conditions, and in Johannesburg, temperatures have plunged to below zero. A man died from the cold in Johannesburg's CBD. City Power says households cranking up heaters and geysers has pushed the grid to its limit. These extreme conditions are expected to persist until Thursday. A 39-year-old man has been charged with the murder of 14-year-old Ramaphosa. Fose's mutilated body was discovered in a veld not far from her home a day after she went missing more than a week ago. The teen had left home to play with her friends but never returned. She was laid to rest at the weekend. The man who's been taken in for questioning by police earlier in the week has now been charged after being linked to the case.
The suspect is expected to appear before Roodepoort Magistrates Court on Wednesday. The police's occult unit has been working hard to find the perpetrators following the gruesome murder of a 14-year-old Fose. One person was taken in for questioning on Monday, the 9th of June. He was then linked to the murder and charged accordingly.
A shooting at the Mfuleni taxi rank this morning has caused fear and panic in the Western Cape Township. It's understood unknown gunmen entered the taxi rank office and opened fire. Police have confirmed that 4 people were killed and 3 others injured. A mass shooting too in Austria. At least 10 people are dead after a shooter opened fire in a southeastern school in Graz, then turned the gun on himself. Serious injuries have included students and teachers. Attacks in public are rare in the Alpine nation of almost 9.2 million people. And it's round 2 for Presidents Trump and Ramaphosa. They'll be meeting again, but this time on the sidelines of the G7 meeting in Canada from June the 15th to the 17th. Ramaphosa says he'll use the trip to Canada to prepare for the G20 summit scheduled to sit in Johannesburg in November.
We'll be able to interact meaningfully with them. I'm going to have bilaterals with the Chancellor of Germany, with the Prime Minister of Canada. And of course, I'll also be meeting President Trump, who we met at the White House. You were there when they started dimming the lights. So the G7 gives us an opportunity to go and propagate our message, the message about the presidency of South Africa of the G20.
Parliament's Public Service and Administration Committee wants an in-person human verification audit of all government employees to root out ghost workers. The committee's chairperson, Jane Dutton, says ghost workers are an organised crime and cost departments millions of rands paying salaries to fake employees. He says the phenomenon of ghost workers is not, quote, merely a payroll anomaly and is rather an orchestrated form of systemic corruption and organised crime within the state, and gave an example of the Gauteng Health Department, which froze the salaries of 230 employees who could not be verified.
We are calling on this process to begin with physical, in-person human verification audits for all government employees, underpinned by biometric identification. Every person drawing a public salary must appear in person and be verified.
Joburg Mayor Dada Morero has equated bringing Helen Zilla back into the local government arena to deploying former President Thabo Mbeki to the metro. Morero's comments come after Zilla confirmed she was approached to put her name in the hat for the Joburg mayorship in next year's local government elections. The DA has begun internal processes to shortlist candidates for mayoral positions in Joburg, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni and Mangaung.
I would imagine that day comes and the poster is me, the other one is Zilla. It will be very interesting for South Africa to witness that type of a thing. Maybe the EFF will say, no, we're bringing the CIC. The ANC then say, Latisland Umbeki. So maybe it might be interesting to see.
Police will conduct a post-mortem on the man who jumped to his death yesterday from the rooftop of Hotel Sky in Cape Town. Hotel management confirmed the man walked into the hotel before proceeding to the top floor where he jumped off the building. Western Cape Police say an inquest has been opened to determine the cause of the incident.
The person actually did a walkabout. He went one level higher and then jumped from the roof.
The UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand and Norway have announced sanctions against 2 Israeli ministers for, quote, repeated incitements of violence against Palestinian communities, the British government said. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich and National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir will be subjected to a travel ban and an asset freeze. The world's most popular boy band is heading for a reunion. K-pop megastars RM and V from BTS have been released after 18 months of South Korean military service. The 7 members of BTS, South Korea's most lucrative musical act, have been on a break since 2022, while they separately underwent mandatory military service required of all South Korean men under the age of 30. Hundreds of fans gathered near 2 army bases just outside of the capital, Seoul, where band leader RM, recently named favorite K-pop artist at the American Music Awards, and singer V were discharged. And we'll leave you with that news. We'll have a lot more when we see you again tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.